Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me here on Inspiring Time with Juliet. Happy New Year to you all, and I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. Okay, this is a new year, and it is a year of new beginnings. So whatever you are doing, it is a year for you and a year of new beginnings, whatever you are doing. Okay, so we want to thank God for today. We just want to cover ourselves with the blood, and we want to just thank God for what He's doing in our lives at this particular moment in time. 2018, we've got this show packed with loads of topics, and we've got a lot of speakers that will be coming to speak, and they will be talking about important, issues that relates to you. If it doesn't, it relates to someone that you know. So if you can share, invite others to come and watch this show today, that would be really, really wonderful. What are we talking about today? We're talking about menopause. And how does it affect a black woman? What is it all about? What is menopause and what is it all about? So I'm going to try to explain menopause as much as I can to you, and just ask questions, make comments, invite people as we go along. So I'm going to look at the meaning of menopause. Okay, so remembering that this is my top, my area. I've done research in this area in the past, and I'm just going to try to make it so easy for you to understand as well. So what is menopause? Okay, why do we need to know about menopause? Why do we have to go through this transition? Are there myths about menopause? What are the symptoms? How do you manage them? I'm not going to tackle everything today, but we're going to look at it stage by stage. So today, I will look at the meaning of menopause and what does it mean for a black woman out there, a woman of color, okay, to be politically correct. So, menopause, what is it? Menopause occurs when you've gone 12 months without seeing your period. Basically, that's what it is. Okay, so if you've gone 12 months without seeing your period, or 12 months from the last time you saw your period, this is what menopause is all about. Okay, this is when you say you are now in menopause. Before menopause, we have peri, or what we call pre-menopause. Okay, so this is a time before you actually go through the process of menopause. Sometimes pre-menopause could start maybe, it could take up to 7 to 14 years. Research tells us that between 7 and 14 years, you could go through what we call pre-menopause. Okay, so menopause, 12 months without seeing your periods. Okay, it's not when you're spotting. When you're still spotting is called premenopause. It's not when you are still going through, seeing your periods as usual during, as a woman. It's not during those times. That time is still called premenopause. And for every woman, the age you start having your own menopause is different. So it is different. It could be because of genetics, cultural. It could be because of some medical problems, or it could be because of your race, basically, where you come from, your family, whoever, it could be several factors that could determine when you start, going through menopause. Now, after menopause, we have post-menopause, okay? So during this post-menopause, you don't have any symptoms. You don't need to manage any symptoms. And also, you don't have period at all. Okay, so the age of menopause then. The research tells us that it starts from the age of maybe 45 or to 55. But when I did my research, I figured out that some black women actually start their menopause much later in the years, which is good news for some of us. So I kind of find out that some black women, they start seeing them, going through their menopause from the age of 51. Okay, some even start from 55. So that means that you're at risk, actually, of having, being pregnant during those years that, you haven't started going through menopause. So you've got to be very careful. Why do we have to go through menopause? What happens during menopause? Okay, so there are three, sex hormones. You probably have heard of estrogen, you've heard of progesterone, and you've heard of testosterone. We don't have to worry about testosterone because that's for men. What we have to worry about is two hormones, two sexual hormones, which is the estrogen and also the progesterone. During menopause, even during premenopause, this estrogen starts to decrease. They start to, reduce in their effect. They start to not function as well as they used to, during your, productive years. So they reduce their effect. They're no longer effective. And so you do not have your period as you normally do. And you start to spot, see very, very little of it. And during that time as well, you start to have some symptoms. I'm not going to go through symptoms today. That will be for part 2. I just want to try to explain menopause as much as I can today for you and take away some of the myths that we have. So during those times when the estrogen and progesterone, meanwhile, the estrogen actually is the one that regulates our periods. The progesterone is the hormone that looks after you when you are pregnant, just to make sure that the process of being pregnant, the body kind of adjusts to you being pregnant, just looks after you during pregnancy when you're carrying the baby. So when these hormones begins to kind of die down or reduce in their effect, and that's when menopause actually starts. For a Black woman, it could be different for you, okay? Because some women don't even know that they are going through menopause. Is the understanding is actually because some women are so busy, some Black women are very, very busy. They don't actually realize that they're going through menopause and they have to take care of themselves during that period of time. So this is why this program is all about, to create that awareness, kind of take care of themselves and make sure that they're looking after their body, and also be aware of what is happening to them, and also be aware that this is how to manage it, and this is what to expect, and what you shouldn't be expecting to happen, and when it is time for you to go and see your doctor. Okay, so don't confuse spottings and having spotty menstrual cycles and some other symptoms as though you are going through menopause, because it could be premenopause until you see your last period. You haven't actually gone, you're not in menopause yet. Okay, until the last period, you've seen your last period. It's going to be 12 months from the time that you saw your last period, then you can consider yourself to be, menopausal. Postmenopausal women are kind of quite vulnerable to heart diseases. Osteoporosis is a disease that affect the bones. At this time, you have to be very, careful as to what you're eating, and make sure that you're having a lot of calcium. You will see that some of these women during that time, during those during the time that the doctors prescribe them regular calcium tablets. So if you are in your postmenopausal, stage or transition phase, whatever you call it, it's important that you see your GP because it affects your bones. Okay, so you have to be on a regular calcium tablet. Okay, so let's look at what the Black woman, what you should be expecting to happen. The Black woman should expect to have some symptoms some people don't even have. When I did my research, I noticed that most of the Black women, they didn't have any symptoms at all. Okay, so understand the difference between menopause, premenopause, and postmenopause as well. Okay, and understand the cultural aspect of it. Just make sure that you're talking about it, you're talking to people, and you are asking questions, what you're not sure about. You're speaking to people that know this area. And if you're not sure, you can also go and see your GP if you're having some symptoms that is not manageable. Okay, and also women from the Black community have been found to have a better attitude towards menopause. I remember when I did my research, they had better attitude towards it. They were like, oh my goodness, have I have I gone through menopause? Am I going through menopause? So, has it started yet? So they had a better attitude towards menopause than their other women that were considered in the research group. So, and also I want to make sure that, the Black woman is aware that we are so prone to diseases such as stroke, diabetes, high blood pressures, asthma, and other health-related problems. But when it comes to menopause, some of us kind of go through it quite severely. We do have severe symptoms. Some people go into depression, see a lot of, changes in their hormones. They go through depressive period, anxiety, and all of that. Maybe because of the environmental factors. Some environmental factors can play a role. Some smoking, some alcohol, your social life and stuff like that. You need to make sure that you are aware of what is going on in you, within your body, and also to take care of yourself. I just want to, kind of recognize people that are joining me today. Thank you so much for joining me, Ade Victor. Ade says, do men go through menopause? That's a big question. There are a lot of research that is now being done in this area. Some say that men go through some kind of menopause, or because they have to go through what we call 40s blues, or what we call life begins at 40s and stuff like that. They have their own symptoms as well. I'm not going to talk about the men's symptoms. I'm talking about the women's symptoms at the moment. Thank you so much, Ekenem. Well done, Julia, for talking on this topic. Thank you so much. Hannah, thank you for all the ones that are joining us. Keep listening and sharing with others. Thank you. Ekuribe Stanley, thank you so much for joining me. And I've got Voice Africa Radio. Yeah, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. So we're talking about menopause. If you have any experiences there, if you have any anything that you want to share with us, if you have any issues or questions you want to throw at me, I will try as much as I can to explain it to you. Just like I was saying before, this is my area. I've done, quite a few research work on this, so I feel that I'm in best position to tell you about menopause and what to expect, and some of the latest research work that's been done in this area, up to date. So, menopause and the Black woman. During the research that I kind of carried out, some women had symptoms, some didn't. Some were having some symptoms and they didn't relate it to menopause at all. Some women were so busy carrying on with their daily lives and running around, quite busy in what they do. They didn't realize that there was this phase transition happening in their body. And what I want to say and insist is that we have to take care of ourselves as women of color, because if you don't, okay, you probably will miss it. I feel that menopause is such a wonderful time, that you have to really kind of listen to your body and make sure that you're giving your body what you need, both mentally, physically, and medically as well, making sure that you're taking care of yourself, you're exercising, you are, interacting with people, you are exercising your brain. It's not a time to overload your brain, but it's a time to keep your brain working and active, because some research have actually proven that during this time, if you take care of yourself during menopause and stuff like that, it also reduces the risk of you getting Alzheimer's. Your brain is working and is active, and it reduces the risk of assignments. Thank you so much, Taya. Taya, thank you for joining. Ekina says, please emphasize that it is not just when you start menopause that you start to take care of yourself. Absolutely. It's even before menopause, pre-menopause. Like I said, some research have actually have said that pre-menopause starts from maybe 7 to 14 years before the actual menopause starts. So really, we should start to look after ourselves, earlier on. So we have to make sure that we're eating the right diet, like I said before, Black people generally, we are so prone to stroke, prone to diabetes, high blood pressures, and asthma, and all sorts of medical problems. Thank you for joining, Martin Lillian. Ayowele Bamidele, thank you so much for joining me. Mommy D says, Happy New Year to you and the entire crew. Thank you so much, Mommy D. Thank you for your support. I do appreciate it. So, menopause, do you have any experience? Do you have any symptoms? Do you have anything that you want to tell us, regarding menopause? I'm going to kind of try to debunk some of the myths that we have regarding menopause. We will take a little break. When we come back, we will take a little a break. And I think someone is trying to call me, but I think it's gone now. So if you are trying to call me, so try to call again. And we're going to take some break now, just few minutes. When we come back, we look at some of the myths about menopause and look at if these myths are true or not. So see you in 1 minute. Thank you.
Ever wondered how certain people can earn up to £500 a day as a project management or business analysis professional? Even after tax, you can save up for a house and buy your partner nice gifts. According to the Labour Force survey, unemployment rates among graduates is high because they lack labour market experience. Meet Sally. Before applying for work, she felt it was important to gain practical work experience by shadowing seasoned and experienced project managers and business analysts. She found Career Insights. Career Insights delivers intensive weekly and weekend hands-on training sessions in project management and business analysis. 12 weeks later, Sally starts applying for work and within days secures a number of job interviews and eventually secures her first contract role, paying £350 a day as a PMO analyst. We're Career Insights and we make success stories out of people. With over 2,000 placements and loads of success stories, our candidates work for major blue chip companies. We're in the business of changing lives. So how can we help you? Your work experience will cover managing and analysing web and mobile applications, giving you the opportunity to shadow experienced professionals in the field until you're able to successfully lead and manage your own team. Unlike other training companies where your session ends after a week, we automatically secure you a work placement with a leading digital tech company. On securing your first role, you'll receive a work reference for work done. With over 2,000 placements to date, what are you waiting for? Register free today at www.careerinsights.tv. And don't forget to like and follow us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/careerinsightstv.
Hello. Thank you. Thank you for joining us back here on Inspiring Time with Juliet. We've been talking about menopause and what does it mean to a Black woman? What are those things that we need to be aware of? Okay, so we've tried to explain, I have tried to explain what menopause is all about. Okay, so it's when you have gone through 12 months completely without seeing your period. Okay, so from the last time you saw your period, 12 months afterwards, that's what menopause is. That's when you say you are in menopause. Okay, prior to that, okay, it's called pre-menopause. So some women, it takes them up to from 7 to 14 years for them to get to that point. Okay, so if you are in if you are in that period, it's called pre-menopause. Okay, so pre-menopause, you're still spotting, you're still seeing your periods, you're experiencing some kind of changes in your body, you're still kind of beginning to see some kind of signs in your body. That's pre-menopause. Now, post-menopause, there's no period at all. Some women do not have symptoms at this time. In fact, some research has shown that most women go through hysterectomy, which means that, their womb has been taken away or some ovaries has been taken away. So they are not able to go through menopause. That's post-menopause, basically. Okay. So, menopause then. What are the myths? I've been hearing a lot of different stories about menopause. People throwing words and people saying things about menopause and, what it's all about. So what are the myths about menopause that I've heard? If you have any, just, say it and let us hear it, and we can try to explain it away, or we can try to, I can try to kind of enlighten you in that area. Like I said, this is my topic. This is my area. I've done a lot of research work in this in the past, in my studies as a master degree holder. That's one of the things that I did during my research work. So I can tell you, I'm actually doing it as well as a postgraduate student. So most of the things that I'm telling you, is something that I've done either firsthand or I've seen other work done, other research work done in this area. So myths about menopause. One of the ones that I can remember very well is menopause is the beginning of the end. Well, menopause is not really the beginning of the end per se. I mean, it could be in the 60s, it could be in the 60th centuries, and it could be in the, before the 21st century. They could have seen it like that. But now, people actually live so much happier life. When they come to a point in when they come to menopause age or stage transition, they have they have lived life and they are enjoying their life. They are working class. They are kind of beginning to be stable and happy in what they are doing, and people are living much longer. And, life expectancy is actually kind of increased over the years as well. So when you go through menopause, and you probably have it between 45 years and 55 years, people still live longer. They get up to their 70s, 80s, 90s, and 100. A lot of, there was a research work that was done that said there's a lot of people in their 100th years. Yeah. At the moment. So it hasn't happened for a long time. So if we say that menopause is the beginning of the end, it's not really true, to be honest, So, considering that we still live longer. And Lexi Aya Olufunke says, does menopause bring about bloating of the tummy? It doesn't. It shouldn't be bringing about bloating of the tummy. But maybe it's because of the overweight. Maybe that's what you mean by, bloating of the tummy. Because when these hormones and everything start to reduce and things like that, women during this period are prone to adding weight. They become overweight. Maybe that's why you see the bloating of the tummy. Bloating of the tummy could be caused by your diet. It could be lack of exercise. It could be a lot of other things that is happening. Some people have got, some conditions that are going on. So they need to be seen by the doctors, and just so that they will be diagnosed and determined and treated if possible. But bloating of the tummy is understandable. It's understandable because during this time of menopause and, premenopause, women add weight. They just add weight. And this is why, as a black woman, you should really be able to take care of yourself, making sure that you're exercising, you're eating the right thing, and you are, making sure that your brain is working. You can take up some courses, some models, and, anything that could make you a bit more active, so that you still be functioning. Your cognitive function is still functioning well. Like I said, during this time, it depends on how you look after yourself, because it could bring about early Alzheimer's and dementias and all of that. And people go through depression, during this period as well. So you just have to make sure that you are absolutely looking after yourself. Talking about depression, one of the myths is that most women going through menopause experience depression. It's possible that you could go through depression because obviously whatever that is happening in your body, you can't understand it, your hormones is playing up and all of that. So you could suffer depression. But, a few studies have suggested a link between depression and hormone changes. And but other research has shown no link. I've tried to kind of balance it up. Some of the research has shown that there is a link. Some shows that there is no link. So when women are going through hormonal changes during their body, they go through mood swings anyway. So it could be because of psychological distress, whatever it is that is going on in your life at that point in time. So it could be because of menopause. It could be because you're stressed. It could be because of your lifestyle. It could be because of anything that is going on through you. Because during those times as well, research has shown that women go through divorce, relationship problems as well. So which could affect your psychological, well-being. So this is why once you start noticing all those symptoms, try and see a healthcare professional, a doctor to be specific, yes, you could have depression during menopause, but it could be attributed to other factors as well, depending on what is going on in your life. So I want to touch base on other unpleasant symptoms during menopause. People say that that some people have it bad, they have it worse than others. Yes, it is true. Some people have it worse than others because some women do not stop to kind of check and consider what is going on in their life, in their body. And some women they know, but they brush it aside because they have other things to worry about. They have children to take to school. They have, grandparents. They have parents to look after. They tend not to so much look after themselves during this period. So that's why you have to really kind of slow down. I'm not saying slow down. Kind of be sensible about things and make sure that you're watching and listening to what your body is saying, and make sure that you get help, as soon as you can. Another myth that I want to tackle today is most women need to take hormone replacement therapy before, during menopause. They need to take hormone replacement therapy, what we call HRT. My research, when I did my research, because my research work concentrated on the Black woman, my research found that most Black women didn't want to have HRT. They didn't want to have hormone replacement therapy. They prefer to manage it, using some of the traditional methods that is available. They prefer to kind of eat right, exercise, and all of that to be able to manage their symptoms. So not a lot of people, you probably don't need hormone replacement therapy. But if your symptoms is that bad, so bad that you're not able to cope with it, you're not able to manage it with other methods, it's probably best for you to see your GP as soon as possible so that they can look at hormone replacement therapy. When I'll be talking about the management of menopause, I will be looking at HRT in more details and let you know what the hormone is all about and why you need it and what effect it could be and some of the benefits and some of the disadvantages of having HRT. But today, just be aware that you probably don't need HRT to treat your menopause. I just want to read some of the things that people have been saying. Mommy D says this is an important health talk, especially for women. It is, and this is why we are talking about it. Lexi Ayo Olufunke says, does menopause affect sex life, either decrease or increase it? Well, there has been some research work done, that suggested that women don't have that kind of interest anymore, that their libido and everything is all reduced during menopause. So there is a research work that says that could have that effect. It could decrease it, and also it depends on how you manage yourself. It depends on how you manage things, making sure that you are aware of your body, knowing when you need to, this is what I need and this is not what I need. I need water, I need, all of that. So you just kind of watching your body. So yes, that could happen. Mommy D says, promised and happy to be here. You're blessed, sister. Thank you, Mommy D. So it says, please emphasize that it's not just when you start menopause that you need to look after yourself. I've already read that. Thank you so much, Ekenam. Follow Shade Bolarin, it says, please, ma, does HRT stands for, what does HRT stands for? It stands for hormone replacement therapy. I'm going to be explaining more on this when I'll be looking at how you manage menopause. I'm going to look at what does hormone replacement, what does it all mean, what are the effects of it, the advantages and the disadvantages of HRT. But HRT stands for hormone replacement therapy. Okay, so it is an important topic that we're talking about. So we're talking about menopause, what effect it does have with the Black women. What does the Black woman need to know? And we're looking at the myths of menopause. There are so many things that's been said out there about menopause. Being an expert in this area, I just wanted to just look at it in the beginning of the year. So really, looking at some of the myths, again, it says women gain a lot of weight after menopause. Yes, could happen. Because of the changes, it affects the hormones. That is why when you are going through the middle ages, you start noticing that you are actually adding weight and it's difficult for you to lose them. It does happen. Many research work has to, have identified that women do add weight between the age of 35 and 55 years. That's when they mostly add the weight. And some also gain weight even before menopause. Some people gain weight even before menopause. So we can't just say wholly and completely that menopause helps you to add weight. It does sometimes, but women still add weight before and even after menopause. They still happen. So if you watch your diet and follow a good exercise routine, you can prevent weight happening, during your middle years, because obviously it's the time that you're prone to adding the weight and it's so difficult to, lose them. It's just being aware and making sure that you are aware of these things and you're keeping things in check. Okay. One of the other things that I want to look at today is, can you still get pregnant after menopause? Well, if you're still having occasional periods, okay, so which is pre-menopause now, okay, it's not when you're in menopause. Remember, menopause is when you've gone through 12 months without having your period. If you are at a period of pre-menopause, you are still prone to being pregnant because you're having these spottings. Every now and then you can have period and then you're not having period. During the time, you can actually get pregnant. This is why you have to take some being careful. If you don't want to be pregnant during those times, you just being precautious about it. See your GP and make sure that you are not pregnant, basically, when you do not want to be pregnant. Once you've reached 12 months, 12 consecutive months without seeing your periods, then you are officially menopausal, and you can't get pregnant during those times because obviously you're not producing as much eggs, you're not producing as much hormones that is looking after your body and the linings of your womb to prepare you for pregnancy. So it's unlikely that you will be pregnant during those times. Okay, so I don't know if anybody has got any question. Damilola Olufuose, thank you for joining us. Thank you everyone that is joining us this afternoon. I saw Bolale Ayeni. Thank you so much for joining. Ade Victor, thank you for joining us. I've got Ila Ijimakin Olajompo. Thank you so much. Tayo, thank you for joining. Ayo, thank you, and thank you for all your questions. It is absolutely great that people are joining and they're participating and they're asking relevant questions. Venashu Sanyawu says, great work, Juliet. Thank you so much. Emeka, thank you so much. And Folashade, hormone replacement therapy. Thank you for your response, ma. Thank you very much. That is what I'm here for. Okay, like I said, this is my area. You can ask me any questions and I'm quite happy to reply to that. Right. Okay, so we're going to take one more break. Okay, so when we come back, we'll just kind of look at some of your questions. If you do have any question, just throw it right now so that I can just run through them when we come back and look at some of the myths that we've talked about as well. Okay, see you in 1 minute. Okay, thank you.
In life, there are three things a man leaves for his children as an inheritance: good upbringing, a great education, and of course, real estate. Real estate is everlasting and it stays in your generation forever. Green City Homes allows you to own your own home in the fastest and easiest way possible. With only a 980,000 naira down payment, you can secure your own fully developed house today. Our latest Green City development is located in the rapidly developing suburbs of Isheri. Yes, there are 5 reasons why you must hurry now to secure your own Green City home before it's all gone. Properties in this area are rapidly increasing in value, and your house may actually double in price even before you move in. Number 2, the homes are well built in lush and naturally green surroundings that are critical for your health and happiness. You can secure your own Green City home with only 980,000 naira down payment and only 2 additional easy down payments of 100,000. After that, unlike other companies, you only pay the balance on delivery of your house. Our houses start at only 14.9 million naira total, making these properties the most affordable in the market right now. Call 0812-994-0746 now to ask about the Green City AfriNet special and get a 200,000 naira discount voucher you can apply towards the purchase of any Green City home. But you must call now. These homes and the 250,000 naira AfriNet discount vouchers are very limited and are going very fast. Call now or go to greencitynigeria.com for more details.
Hello everyone, thank you for joining me here on Inspiring Time with Juliet. We've been talking about menopause and we've been looking at how it actually affects the black woman in particular. Okay, it's a black color woman. Okay, so I've explained what menopause was all about, what it is, and when you should expect to be menopausal, pre-menopause, and I've looked a little bit about, into post-menopause as well. Okay, so I think that somebody has got a question that I want to kind of answer. It says, Lexi Ayo says, does it bring about breakouts on some women's faces? Well, some women react differently. If you're going through menopause, some people have some symptoms. Okay, so some of the symptoms is what I'm going to tackle in my next program, so make sure that you tune in. Okay, so I don't want to waste a lot of time on talking about symptoms because it's a huge topic to talk about. So some women react differently because of the changes of the hormones. So breaking out in sports, it could be some of them, it could be a diet related to as well, is what they're eating, their lifestyle and stuff like that. So it could be that, it could not be menopause. So is why they should be looking after themselves. Okay, so let's just talk about some of the other myths that people have been that have about menopause. They said women stop having intimacy after menopause. Well, it shouldn't really bring about, not having intimacy with your spouse, because to be quite honest, during this time of your age or your phase transition and things like that, you begin to see that you're understanding things a little bit better, more accepting, and some women have gone on to have a fulfilling lifestyle. They are in a stable job, their children are growing, and they're a lot more happier. So they wouldn't have any problems with having intimacy with their partners if they do want to. So menopause should not prevent people from having that, because at this time you're having a better outlook of life. Things are a lot more stable. People that have mortgage are almost halfway through their mortgage, payments, and they have a better understanding of life, acceptance, and they have friends around them, a better outlook. So it shouldn't really affect you in that way if you don't want it to. But if it does, try and see your GP. One of the biggest myths about menopause is that it is time when you slow down and watch your health start to go downhill. Well, it shouldn't really be. I don't think so, because during this time, women have already some women have understood what is going on in their body. They kind of are more active. They have a healthier living lifestyle. People have gone on further in their careers. They're traveling. They're doing volunteering work. They spend more time with their families and stuff like that. So they are much happier, much settled. So it shouldn't be when your health starts to go downhill. It shouldn't. If it is, then there are other things that is also playing a part. So look at those factors. Try minimize the factors and make sure that you reduce those factors. Women, they do take care of their body. Some women, they do. And like I say to you, as a Black woman, you should be able to be very active, mentally. Get some projects going, get your minds working. Because if you do not take care of it, you run a risk of getting Alzheimer's and, dementia, and also it affects your cognitive, your cognition, basically. So it is a time that you have to look after yourself as a woman, and especially as a Black woman. Next time we're going to be looking at the symptoms of menopause, and I'll be looking at some of the how you can manage menopause. Like I said, this is my topic. I have much passion about this, and I'll be looking at in much detail some of the symptoms of menopause. What you expect, what should you be expecting, and what are you supposed not to be expecting? Okay, so that you are aware and you're on a lookout and you know when to seek help. I'm coming to the end of this program today. Thank you for joining me. Meanwhile, I just want to recognize a wonderful lady, Hannah. Handlocks Makeup. She's the one that made me up today. That's why I'm looking all gorgeous and lovely. And thank you, Hannah, for making me up today. So next time, I'm not going to be here next week, but next time I'm here, we're going to be looking at menopause, the symptoms of menopause. Watch this space. Thank you so much for joining me on Inspiring Time with Juliet. If you had any question, anything you want to throw, just keep those questions coming. I can still answer them later on. Thank you for joining me this afternoon on Inspiring Time with Juliet. See you next time. Bye-bye now.